What month is this? This is
November 11.
What password do you guys usually use? We need like a. It's only the solar farm. Nobody's gonna get to it. It's a 6-digit, just so nobody can mess with the controller parameters.
And it needs to be 6 numbers?
6 numbers, yeah.
Okay. Did you get 2 numbers or 1?
Just 1? Twice?
No.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Loli, what are you doing? Are you growling at somebody? Do you hear somebody? Huh? Do you hear somebody out there? Are you growling at somebody? You think you're trying to scare them? Huh? I just don't think you're going to scare anybody, Lola. Yep.
Charging at 6.1 amps now.
So what is the...
Oh, so let's find out what the wattage is.
Huh?
29.1. Not too bad. Right now, it's solar panels are putting out 182 watts when technically they should be putting out 200. But that would be like bright, direct sunlight would be 200. We're getting 182. That's
good.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, they might do a little better when they're angled.
So-
When they're angled and
Okay.
exactly facing the sun. So.
And then, what was the other number you said? 6 point...
6.4 amps is what it was charging the batteries at.
And what's ideal?
That's pretty good, actually. That's your typical like auto battery charger would put out about that. So that's pretty good. So the big question is once we hook all the stuff up, what are we taking out of the batteries? Okay, So think about it. Right?
Oh yeah.
So let's say that we have let's say a perfect example of a day. We have 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness.
Right.
Okay. So if our load was 3 amps, right?
Mm-hmm.
If our load was 3 amps and we were charging the batteries at 6 amps,
Then we have plenty.
12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of nighttime,
Just
we are
enough.
just enough. We're breaking even.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the trick. That's the magic thing. We got to figure out what our draw is once everything is hooked up and everything is running. And then we can do things like move the camera and watch the draw. See what our draw is at that point. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we know how bad moving the camera actually is.
So if we leave this stuff out all week, everything will be charged up when we take it over there.
Yep.
So we can be running these tests on Saturday. Knowing, yeah. Okay.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, worst thing that could happen in that.
What's the matter?
And even if something really funky was to go on and we needed to add solar panels,
Right.
we probably would have room.
Oh, we would. You mean in that area? We have plenty of room in that area.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You can make it work. You either have to add a few more batteries or add a few more solar panels. Okay, so do you understand how that works? So let's say that the solar panels were charging at like 6 amps and our draw was only like 2 amps, but we were still running out of battery power at the end of the day. We just add a couple more batteries because we have plenty of power that we can add to the batteries. We just don't have enough storage in the batteries to dump out all night long. So Mike still thinks shutting stuff off at night.
Hell no!
I told him
We
the
are
only.
not shutting the cam down at night.
I told him the only problem with that.
You might have to.
No.
I told him the only problem with that is you got some people that are up all night or that live in different parts of the country that want to see it at night.
That's not happening anyway.
If it
It's
kills-
not happening. We will add more solar panels or batteries depending on what we need to do. The camera will be
You have all the answers.
24/7, Mike. 24/7.
If it sucks too much down during the night, then it won't run in the morning.
It will because we'll add.
It will because why?
We'll add what we need.
Yeah, you'll have 100 feet of solar panels and.
No, I think we're
That
gonna be
is not
fine.
what we're going to need. This is going to be sufficient. But
That's it.
worst case scenario,
It's
we
all done, huh?
add.
All done.
So now if we want to wrap wires in there, we can just undo the wires and then tuck them up in there the way we want, and then.
Yeah, I got some brackets that we can neaten everything up underneath when we get down there and get it all dialed in.
How flimsy is that now with the panels on there when they're all mounted like that? Is that
As far
Wood.
as the plywood,
is that wood pretty? That's not too bad now.
and plus we'll set it on top of the piece that's already
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Just screw it in.
I'm just saying, well, a couple people can manhandle it and get it in there, and
Oh yeah,
So where is the most sun at our house?
right there,
yep.
angled.
Right there every day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so realistically, we can't leave it there every day.
No.
Okay, so where are we going to place it this week so it can continue?
Well, I
It
have
really doesn't have to continue. It's
yes,
not a big
it
deal.
does have to continue.
I have a battery charger right there. We can just charge batteries up if that's what you're getting at.
No, what I'm getting at is we need to have that set up and the cam set up to where we can be testing it throughout the week. So we need a place where it's going to be in the sun. We can hook up the camera, mount it to something.
Well, if you do it in the afternoons, you just put it right in the garage right here. The sun's in here. What do we need to hook the camera up to it? Just
something to mount it to.
it won't work on Wi-Fi, right?
No.
How do we?
You'd have to be hardwired.
Can we do that?
How would you want to?
To test it?
You really think you're gonna have a problem with your $1,700 camera?
No.
I don't either.
So we're not gonna run it this week? I thought we were gonna run it this week.
No, we're just gonna run the solar system. But we don't even really have to run. I'm happy with the test that we already have. I think it's running fine. I don't think we're gonna have a
Let's
problem.
freaking go up there and install it then.
We gotta wait for Glenn, remember? Still need to do some stuff in the box. We just basically are testing the
Okay.
main part of it, so. Alright, so I need to finish working on some of these other little things. Alright, so did you show everybody everything you want to show them and stuff? Because I'm going to probably pull it apart and
All right. Let's
start working on the box. Is it all live again?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are live.
You can show them the controller and they can see what's going on. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so here's the controller for the solar. Basically, it's saying that
Can you turn that down?
when you see the arrows going into the batteries, that means there's more sunlight than there's enough sunlight to actually charge the batteries. So the solar panels are putting out 37.2 volts at 4.9 amps, charging the battery at 29.1 volts and 6.1 amps. So if you just calculated the difference between that and that, it'd equal out. And then our output right now is 29.1, but it's because we have zero load on it. So there's nothing connected to these two. But yeah, you can see that everything's working. It's definitely charging. And if you look at the solar panels, we have these two. Let's see, these two are in series. Those two are in series. And then the two sets are in parallel. So that's what gives us the 24 volts coming into here. Right now we only have these two batteries, but already at the solar farm they just replaced they just put in two brand new batteries, exact same as these. So we just got two more and we're going to add those to it, and we'll do the same thing, two in series and then those two in parallel. That'll give us 24 volts batteries, 24 volts solar, and that should be plenty of power to run everything we need to run there at the location. So
Nice.
that's where we're at. And everything seems to be working fine. So the solar panels are working fine. The controller's working fine. Everything's charging. We're all good. Now we just got to finish wiring up the rest of the internals of the box. We'll be good to go. But I'm going to disconnect it now because I want to start finishing up inside the panels. So
What do you have to do inside the panel still?
24 volt, 12 volt, and 5 volt regulators, because we have these things run on 24 volts. The Raspberry Pi is going to run on 5 volts. The guy that has the internet, the antenna, and both antennas, he has stuff that runs at 12 volts, and I don't even remember what runs at 12 volts, so that's why we have a 12 volt regulator. So this one will be 24, this will be 12, this will be 5. So if we have anything we need to hook up, we just hook it up to the right one, and it's automatically where it needs to be. And then hook up the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi also has, I put analog to digital, an analog to digital module on it, and then I did voltage dividers so we can actually measure the output of the 24, the 12, and the 5 volt regulators. So we'll know exactly what that is, because this is only going to tell us the output load of the actual controller. I haven't found a place where the controller will shut off the load on its own if the battery voltage gets below a certain amount. So we will probably go ahead. We bought a box that we can do that. So if the battery power starts to get too low, it'll shut stuff off until the battery power comes above the right power. So that may cause us, if we do that, we won't use these load pins. We'll just use the load. We'll just run wires straight off the battery and ignore the load off of this. But if somehow this can do that, then we'll use these load pins here. But I'm guessing we're probably not going to use these load pins at all. So all that stuff. We have a current sensor up here. It's rolling around here. This is the device that will shut the battery off, so that we don't, if the solar farm goes all the way down to below, a good voltage, you have to jump start the solar farm. So the solar panels will not actually charge the batteries if the batteries are completely dead, because the controller won't be working, and it takes battery power to run the controller. So it's kind of weird. So you have to basically jump start the solar farm. Take 2 batteries out, hook them up with jumper cables, get power to the battery so the controller can come on, and then the solar panels will start charging everything. So that is the purpose of this. That'll prevent that kind of a condition from happening. So the controller would always have power no matter what. So if there was sunlight, then we could get the sun to do it. But if the power gets below a certain amount in the batteries, it'll cut off things like the camera, the wireless, the antennas, all the rest of the stuff that's actually taking the load, to keep us from having to actually go out there and jump start the system. So if we don't use the load in the control box, because it won't do the same thing that this will do, we're going to add this, which will tell us it's a current, basically measures how much current we're taking out of the box, so what the load current is for the camera and stuff. That way we can calculate, are we putting enough in there, are we taking enough out, do we have enough at the daytime to compensate for the stuff that we're taking out in the nighttime. So that's that. This is the little module that I made. Just made some voltage dividers, basically, with little resistors. That's what I was soldering on earlier. So we can run 24 volt, 12 volt, 5 volt into this, and then the Pi will monitor the voltages, and the Pi will also monitor the power that this is out, or the current that we're running through the system. So the Pi, which is right here, is what's going to do all that. This is an RS-485 module that we can put the controller. That little thing that we're looking on the controller, the display, that actually runs on RS-485. So we just disconnect that, connect that into this, and then the Pi will do that same basic things that that's doing. And then the camera also has RS-485. So technically, we should be able to do things like control the angle of the camera, move the camera, turn things on, whatever, with the Raspberry Pi as well, straight to the system. So if we want to set presets, so you can go to a web page and just push a button and do it on that too. So, but that's where we're at. So I just got to finish doing this a little electronic stuff, hooking up the regulators, the power injector for the camera, the little Ethernet switch, because we're only getting one Ethernet cable from the guy. And then we have to have 2 because we need one for the camera, which we're going to inject power into that one for the power to the camera. But we also need one to run the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi will run on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, but we don't want to do that because the signal comes into that place 5G, so 5 gigahertz. That's how the upstream comes in, and then he's shooting down to the loop branch with 2.4, which is basically Wi-Fi, but a little, so we don't want to run anything Wi-Fi up at the location, because then you have 2 things receiving and transmitting on the same frequencies. It's going to cause a problem, even if they're on different channels. We don't even want to take that chance, so we're just going to do everything. It's going to be Ethernet, so we don't have to worry about that. But anyway, so that's it. That's where we're at. That's what we got left, and so we'll be ready for next weekend. And
nice. Next weekend.
Yep. All right.
Happening.
All right, so I'm gonna disconnect that so I can drop the box and start doing stuff that I need to do. See if I have to move your purse eventually. I'm gonna gotta move the box back over there. Good for now. Okay.
Wow, the sun's coming in. Okay.
It's kind of warm now, huh? It's kind of warm now. Huh?
Yeah, it is. It's warming up.
It was cold earlier. put it? Just right there? Are you gonna
Yeah.
do it right there?
Yeah. Use the restroom real quick, and then we'll come back and get started.
Are you getting hungry?
I'm okay. Surviving.
You're surviving. Are you hungry?
No, I'm okay.
Where's my pen? I found it.
It is getting warm up here again.
Very warm.
Cheryl, did you order the microphone already?
No, because there's a conflict of interest.
Do you have a power strip?
Yep.
Or something? Or actually, you can move the here. I can do it.
I can do it.
I
What
got
do
an
you like to do?
extension cord. What do you need?
I just need to plug this in too. I'm gonna have to do some heat shrink stuff. So you can just move her camera stuff up to the top instead of plug down. There you go. That's what I was thinking.
Is that going to give you enough cord?
I think so. Okay, so now.
Okay, so we have the cover for the camera. We have the battery box. And we have the camera mount.
Good job, lug nut.
I think
Yeah,
that's all we need.
Yeah.
And the solar panel thing is ready to go.
So are you going to be able to just leave the solar panels on it and take
Yep.
it just like that?
Yeah, we're gonna
Just lay it in the truck, instead of the truck?
we're gonna run the wires over the side instead of through the other one that's
Right.
So yeah, we're good.
So you can lay that down in the bed of the truck and take
What
it
I'll
up
do
there?
is I'll put whatever I need to under it, and then I'll put the panels on top.
And all that shaking isn't going to hurt them?
It's only gonna really start shaking when we start going up the cow trail,
I know.
No, that should be fine.
but it should be fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you ride back there and support it.
And
I
hold
don't
on to
think
it.
so.
That's a good idea. I
That's
think
not
you
going
should.
to happen.
I think that'll be a good idea.
You could do that and I'll drive your truck.
No, because if you're driving the truck and you get scared, it's over.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys what he did. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay, one time,
In
can't remember
Bandcamp.
what it was. Oh, his quad. His precious quad. So it was downstairs. And downstairs means outside down the hill of the driveway. There's a dirt driveway that goes down the hill to the back of the house. Okay. So,
I don't know if I like your live stream.
so he said, okay, I can't remember what was it, why I had to be, okay, I can't remember. He like tied the quad to the hitch with a rope or something, and
That wasn't a quad, that was a shed.
oh, that's right. Okay. I was trying to figure out why. Okay, so it wasn't the quad. It was the shed. So we tied a rope around the shed, right? We have like this smaller type, not small, but how big is that shed?
I don't know, 8 by 6.
So it's like 8 feet by 6 feet shed that was down the driveway, okay? And it used to be used like for garden equipment and stuff like that, but we wanted to bring it up to the side of the garage so that we could put firewood in it. That way we wouldn't have to go downstairs to the firewood. Okay. Yes, war story time. Okay, so Lugnut ties this rope around the shed and ties it to the hitch of the truck, and then
It's not a car.
Huh?
It's not a car, it's a truck.
I said that. Tied around the hitch of the truck. I think I said that. And then he put a dolly. So like he put a dolly underneath the shed. Okay, just like one of those hand truck dollies. It has the 2 wheels, okay? Has 2 wheels, and like you would normally put boxes on it. So between the truck and the shed where the rope is, he put a dolly under there, and he was gonna pull back on the dolly so that there would be wheels under that first part, right nearest the truck, and then he wanted me to drive his truck, and he would keep the dolly in place and walk backwards up the hill while I'm going very slow in the truck. Well, okay, so that didn't work out because he freaked out when I was driving the truck. So he's like, stop, stop. So then he says, you hold the dolly. Okay, so this is what happens. So I'm like, okay. So I'm back there, I'm holding this dolly, walking backwards, and he's supposed to be driving really slow, right? All of a sudden, and I'm walking backwards, right? I'm walking backwards, holding this dolly in place. He speeds up, and I'm like about to get run over, I'm like screaming, Mike! And so finally he stopped, and he's all, what? And I'm like, you're going fast. He said, yeah, it was burning out my clutch. It was burning up his clutch going slow. So he decides to go fast and basically run me over because it was burning up his clutch.
So what's the problem with that?
That's craziness. He was going to kill me rather than let his clutch burn up.
Yeah, but replacing the clutch is a lot of work. He didn't want to have to do all that.
Such an exaggerator.
It's not an exaggeration. It was horrible. I'm sure everybody listening would agree. Aw, Bill G, that's so sweet. Thank you. Just remember never to help Lugnet move a shed, because he may run over you. But that would be nice to go out to dinner with you guys. Thank you.
Dark.
I've got more stories.
So do I.
She does.
We all do.
Let me think. What's another good one? Can't remember any now.
I think I need to time you out.
No, you don't yet time me out. You can time me out on the chat, but it's not going to make me stop talking.
I get to where I don't do anything with crimps anymore.
You just solder it all together?
Yeah, because it's just, you just have so many problems with crimps. Whereas if you just solder it, it's permanent, you never have to worry about it again. Work. Just add a little tiny bit to the needles. This is gonna take me a while to do this stuff. You guys can go, if you guys got other things to do, it's not a big deal.
We got nothing else to do.
Nothing that we want to do.
I haven't been downstairs in a couple days. How's it look?
I don't know. Or tomorrow night, if we can just work down there and
What do you gotta do down there?
get it, just we're cleaning it all out.
Finish
Are they
moving-
gone?
Moving my,
Who?
yeah,
Jennifer and,
No, in the big room.
finish moving
So
stuff.
the big
in
room
shed.
was a family storage unit.
oh,
which
did
it
you guys
is
get
no
your
more.
stuff
So-
moved?
Well, yeah, we took Hannah and Mikey's stuff to a storage unit, and then Mike built that shed down there, and we are moving all of our stuff into there.
Gotcha.
So tomorrow night, if we can just kind of at least get on the same page with what's gonna go in the shed, and I can pack everything up and put it in the shed. And I wanna tear down those 2 plastic shelving things and just leave the wood shelves in there.
There's 4 plastic shelves down there.
4? Okay, well, all 4 of them then.
Where are you gonna put all that stuff?
Do you want it?
You need to go through it. A lot of it's yours.
Are you talking about the stuff on the shelves? I know, that's what I'm saying. If we could get on the, I mean, I know what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep, right? If you could tell me what you want to keep, then I know what to keep and what to get rid of. And then maybe we can move a lot of the other stuff in that corner into the shed tomorrow night. Because then I gotta clean it. I gotta clean that whole area. So I could clean everything on Tuesday, set up the beds and everything on Wednesday. And then Thursday we're going to LA, right? So there's really not very much time.
Just gotta go to your parents.
Pick up Robbie on Friday night
Oh. From the airport?
from LAX.
I absolutely refuse to do that anymore.
What? Go to LAX?
Yeah.
Why?
I tell people, get your ass to Bakersfield.
Well, it's not bad for us because his parents live there, so it's good reason to see them. You know,
You guys gonna stay the night there or anything? Or
Thursday night, and then we'll go up there Thursday, spend the night Thursday night, pick up Robbie Friday, and come home.
Then we can load Robbie up like a pack mule and he can hike up the hill with us.
Yeah,
for this, you mean?
yeah.
Oh,
Robbie
yeah,
can carry all the heavy
definitely doing
stuff,
Yeah. Him and DJ.
and DJ. DJ can't probably carry very
Yes,
much.
he can.
That can't be good for him.
For what? His stomach?
Yes.
What's he gonna do? It doesn't have any problems like that anymore. The only problem he has is the opening, but it doesn't open up. He doesn't like have a problem.
But he doesn't
with
have
that.
muscles there.
he
When you're
doesn't have
lifting-
muscles anywhere. He's a scrawny little scrunt.
Yeah, but when you lift, you use your stomach muscles too. What's going to happen with that?
With what?
Him.
I don't know. Gotta get it figured out still. He almost had it figured out, and then something happened. I don't remember. Some insurance thing figured out that it was a motorcycle accident or something, and then
So they wouldn't help him.
then they decided not to help him again.
That's screwed up. I thought the original plan was to run the camera from the house during
what?
the week.
For what?
I just thought for some reason, I don't know why I was under that impression, that we were going to hook the camera up and run it at the house during the week.
It's not like you run 2 streams or anything.
No, I
Show
wasn't
you
expecting to
everywhere.
run a stream.
There's really no reason to run the camera. Unless you're worried about it not working, but those have been pretty solid cameras so far, so I'm not worried about it.
Look outside. Outside. Make your dog go outside.
She is outside.
Lonely. What are you doing? What are you doing, Yonis? What are you doing? She wants a bath.
Waste of fur.
With the fur.
Okay. I guess I gotta make a decision. Where to put these?
Might put a little weather stripping on the
Yeah.
top of the battery box lid. There's a little bit of a gap. Bugs and stuff will get in there.
What about that thing? You're gonna put weather stripping on that control box?
Weather stripping on.
On the control box?
We're gonna figure something out. I think it'll be pretty good and secure.
You don't want to get any moisture in there.
Weather stripping really wouldn't work on that
Mm.
because it doesn't connect. We could put tape around the outside or something. Plus, we'll try to mount it underneath the solar panels on the post, so it'll be somewhat protected.
Mm.
We'll try to mount. We're going to mount it to one of the posts that are already there.
Right.
So if we put it on the back side of the post, the plywood solar panel thing.
How will you get into it?
I think just opposite of the other one.
You have to get underneath the.
Well, we're gonna.
panels?
The only other option we have is that other post on the left side, which means we just have to run everything in 8 foot further.
What are you thinking now? I didn't catch all that.
Mounting that box on the post.
It's gonna be mounted on the other post, so right?
Right. The other side, right? 8 feet further from the pole.
Yeah.
Or we can just mount it on the back side of the one he has.
We don't want to mount it on the backside because then you gotta crawl under there and.
Yeah.
That's
what I thought.
That's the last thing you don't have to worry about is.
Especially when it's wet.
Mm-hmm. So what's the discrepancy on the microphone?
Well, because we need to figure out, I don't know if it matters, the microphone from.
I mean, you can mount it outside if you want to. I don't. It's your guys' gig. I'm just telling
Well,
you.
now with that lid that I just made for the camera, we can mount it up inside there.
It's still going to be windy.
Yeah, but I can do what I've done with all the others and just put
It still has
a
wind
sponge
sound.
over it.
Right, but it still has wind sound,
Well, you can have a little bit, no matter where you put it.
even if you put it in the box.
I don't know what it will pick up being inside a box.
Mm.
You know,
All right, so do you want me to order that one then?
I don't know if that's the best choice.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's not adjustable. Those other ones we've been getting, they don't seem to last forever.
Okay,
We've gone through a ton of them.
the one that's up now is what you said is the best one so far.
It
Is that
seems to
right?
be. Well, I don't know. I mean, we've only had it up, 3 weeks? That was just another spare that I had. I think I had that one up at the depot. Then we put one up at the depot.
Why? Why did we change it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Just
because it was
maybe,
too sensitive, I think.
Maybe it was too sensitive.
Yeah, I think that one was too sensitive, and it was like when the train was passing was like.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be okay for.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that one. That's the one we're getting.
out of microphones completely, so
No, we have the 3 that
no,
we
those
just
are
bought.
those are junk.
That means we have no spares then.
Right, we have no more spares, and I don't have any way to put any together.
We got weather pack connectors. We should do it with weather pack connectors.
What's weather pack connectors?
They're like automotive connectors, so that they're weather tight.
Did you say we have them or we need to
I
get
have
them?
them.
Okay. So you don't have to take anything off the cable cam. I mean the sunbug.
Yeah, I need
No.
to take the
He's
connection.
saying to use the weather ones.
Whether what?
Weather pack connectors.
The weather pack.
Use these.
He has some weather pack connectors. You good with that?
I got the tools and everything to cartoon.
The wires in those microphones are like smaller than telephone wires. They're tiny. Is that going to be an issue?
I have the same problem with the Jeep, and I use it on the Jeep, and it works. I mean, the only problem is if you use that barrel connectors, they corrode really bad, especially outside. So unless you've got it really tucked under somewhere,
What if they're tucked up out of the
if you can tuck it
elements?
up under there pretty good, then it might be okay. I mean,
The
it's up to you.
thing,
I know you like doing it that way because you can change it and it's easy for you. Then.
Yeah, I end up changing them so often that the connection makes it simple. It's when I got to start splicing things
Yeah, that's
together.
fine. That's the case. That's what I
what
would do.
creates
Yeah, that's what I would do then.
the thing. I'm thinking we can just mount it right inside that lid. Cover it with a sponge or whatever. Unless we can find a better one that's, got wind reduction built into it. You just got to remember with this camera, it's not as easy as driving over to the depot or walking out on the deck.
Okay, so this is the one. So I'm just going to add it to the cart, but I'm going to look for something else too.
I really don't think you're going to hear much from up there. I mean, you'll hear the horns,
Well, yeah.
but it's not like you're going to hear a whole bunch.
Yeah.
It'll just give it some kind of life.
And that'll really probably depend on the wind direction again too.
Yeah. You just are supposed to get these wind cover things.
Do they have wind covers for them?
But not for that one specifically, just in general.
Well, his idea of foam is basically all those are anyway, right?
Yeah, or those fur things.
Those are for like video camera mics.
That one again, outdoor, waterproof. This is $29.99. No, it's $24.99. What's this? Did that microphone need a power supply?
Mm-mm.
It just plugs in and it's powered by the camera.
Mm-mm.
Camera has power from the microphone.
It's the audio in, audio out, and the ground.
Okay, so what's that? So, ground power.
Okay, I don't see anything. I'm just getting that one. sounds good for dinner? Huh? Like what? If you could pick anything except for sushi,
Sushi.
besides sushi. Maybe I should make my spaghetti. I make the best spaghetti in the world.
Sriracha?
Huh?
So do you have sriracha?
No.
Then it can't be that good.
You put sriracha on spaghetti?
Oh yeah.
My spaghetti does have a little kick to it.
Mike's gonna like find all of his tools. I'm sure that'll drive him crazy when I'm gone.
What?
Trying to track down all his tools and put everything away. Is he pretty anal about his tools? Not really.
Not too bad.
Okay, so I want to run this off of something. Okay. Notepad or something, and start writing.
Okay, wait a second. Give me 1 second. I'm ready.
1, battery disconnect. 2, Ethernet switch, or ETH switch is fine. 3, CAM PoE.
Expansion connector?
What's that?
I don't know, you said before you need an expansion connector.
No, I think we're okay there.
Ring connectors?
Glenn never said he was going to need relays, but I'm going to leave a relay. Let's make 8. So skip down if you need to or whatever.
Number 8?
Yeah, number 8.
Wait a second.
These aren't quantities. These are
Okay.
trying to do the relay.
Relay?
So 8, make it Glenn relay. Make 7 and 8 Glenn relay. So we'll give him 2 relays just in case he needs 2.
Relay.
Make 6.
Relay.
6, make case fans.
Case. Fans?
Yeah. In case we need them. I don't know that we will, but we're going to save a relay just for that in case. Pi, I really need to be able to reboot the Pi, but so what's my 1, 2, 3?
Mm-hmm.
4 Pi. Yeah.